Hey, you know, I got to thinking over the weekend about this thing that happened in Denver, this incredible shooting, you know, trench coat mafia.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, you know, I said, you know, it's really weird. Everything I'm reading now, they're looking to blame somebody for this. They can't blame the 2 kids who did it because, you know, they're gone.
We would have had a good old trial, though, if they had lived.
And I saw one article that blamed Marilyn Manson. I saw another article that blamed lack of religion. I saw another article that blamed the modern culture of, you know, movies, music, that kind of thing.
The whole media thing.
Yeah, and in all of these articles, I want to puke because the one thing they never bring up, the one thing they never blame, is these animals who bomb abortion clinics, these so-called religious freaks. You want to find a role model for this stuff.
They're still alive.
These people are running around, threatening to kill doctors.
Posting their names on the Internet.
Posting their names on the Internet, telling people how to kill people on the Internet, making lists, and they're practicing what I think is a form of racketeering against these abortion clinics. Now, you won't see one of these goddamn reporters come up with that concept because for some reason they're afraid. It's so ridiculous. The Tipper Gores of the world and all these people.
Those people are religious people.
Right.
You know,
so they won't blame religion.
There was that William Bennett was on the air.
Well, he's a creep.
One of those stupid news
shows. He's a total moron.
And he said if children had been walking through the halls holding Bibles and, you know, saying that, you know, Jesus lived or something like that, they would have been hauled off immediately.
Good. I agree.
And, you know, it's as if nobody ever killed anybody or did something stupid in the name of religion.
Well, take a look at these abortion clinics that are getting blown up. Now they're talking about, I don't know, they blame everybody. But the point is, now you know who to blame. Go after them. That you won't see. What am I going to tell you? Hey, good morning, everybody. I didn't mean to get into a whole, you know, friggin' lecture, but...
All I know is those parents better get out of town.
They're looking to blame them now.
It looks like it's going to fall on them.
Yeah, they're building a case against the parents.
Like if they knew anything.
Like Steve Dunleavy, well, they said these kids were in the garage making so much goddamn noise the day before the shootings.
Yeah, and now they're finding, you know, neighbors who, like, turned them in because of rounds and rounds of ammunition they found in homes, and so it's looking pretty bad.
Well, Steve Dunleavy wrote a column and said, you know, if I threw a party for my underage kids, my teenage kids, and served alcohol and got all the kids drunk, you would charge me and throw me in jail.
Yeah.
Same with a bartender at a bar.
Right.
He says, so if these parents are around and the kids are building bombs and they're watching them, like, talk about, you know, blowing up the school, let's go after them. So I'm like,
well, they said they found, like, all this bomb-making material in the houses.
Yeah.
And diaries and all kinds of stuff.
I had a buddy of mine says, Jesus Christ, because me and my kid, we got a knife collection. You know what? My son knows how to make bombs off the Internet. He goes, but he seems pretty cool, the kid. I go, I know. You got to start looking into it. I'm talking to my friend, man. He goes, yeah, you know, my son's always downloading that crap about making bombs off the Internet. He goes, but he seems pretty good. I said, we do have a knife collection, though. We've been collecting knives since he's a kid.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He says, but he seems very happy. It's so funny. Everyone's, like, looking into it.
Yeah, like staring at their kids now.
It's little animals. Don't mess up my life. Yeah, I lectured my kids. I said, listen, don't mess up my life. You want to kill somebody, go kill yourselves, but don't kill anyone else because they'll come after me. Please. You know, they're looking to blame me for something. Yeah. So anyway.
They're looking to blame you for this. If they could only tie you in.
Oh, believe me. I'm surprised I haven't seen any articles tying me in yet. You know, because didn't we just go on the air in Denver?
That's all it took?
Yeah. Like we were the next step.
Timing.
Yeah. But, no, if you want to blame someone and you want to talk about out-and-out violence, downloading off the Internet, lists of people to kill, look at these people who are against abortion, and you will see the direct connection between the slayings and the way these people behave, these racketeers. And then you'll know the rest of the story. Larry Green.
Good morning, Howard.
Yes.
First of all, Ratso called me.
I don't care. Next topic.
Okay, next topic. A lot of things, Howard. Number one, you were talked about on Fox News Channel Saturday night on the Handy and Combs show.
Oh, Alan Combs?
Right. You know Alan Combs used to be WNBC?
Yeah.
I went to camp with him.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let me play the tape for you. You know how you always say that everything comes back to Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about morality in the media.
Well, here we go.
Right?
Here we go. What, you mean you found a show that actually blamed me for the shootings?
Right.
Okay, let me hear that.
But first, Alan Combs asked a question about Gordon Liddy.
Right.
But the guy answering it, named Robert Peters, a real douchebag,
right,
brings it back to you, and your name is mentioned no fewer than 12 times in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I got to tell you, Howard, I'm also going on tour with my comedy act. But I'll tell you about that before you hang up.
No one cares about that. Go ahead.
Okay, people can book me at BelleRoseLarry.com. Let's go to the tape now.
Oh.
So I know you're going to hang up on
Come on.
I'm sorry.
You're ruining me.
I'm sorry. Here it comes.
Douchebag.
You want to blame certain elements of our pop culture. Yes. What about things like hateful talk radio, where they talk about shooting at ATF agents, where they talk about how much hatred and contempt they have for the President of the United States, where they talk about how much contempt they have for the United States government or a particular administration? Do you think that kind of rhetoric on mass radio, for example, could contribute to people's evil attitudes? Yes. All right, thank you for that answer. Because, who are you talking about? Well, not you. No, I mean, what host? I mean, I don't know who you're talking about. Gordon Liddy talked about the best way to shoot an ATF agent, to aim for the midsection. There was a page 1 article in the Wall Street Journal. That's a Waco. Talking about it. It doesn't matter when it was. In fact, this is the kind of rhetoric we heard. Go ahead, Bob. No, there was a front page 1 article in the Wall Street Journal talking about a racial harassment situation. I think it seems to be one of the American Airlines. Yeah. And it was linking it, at least in part, not official allegations, to all the garbage going on in Howard Stern radio, because the people on the job were treating each other exactly the way Howard Stern. You want to blame Howard Stern? I put him in a different category. No. Howard Stern is clearly entertainment. Well, no, but I'm saying not somebody with a political agenda. I'm talking about those people who've got political agendas who get on radio and talk about their hatred for the United States government. I'm not blaming Howard Stern for murders. I'm blaming Howard Stern for bad behavior between. What do you want to single him out and not talk about those people who talk about how much contempt they have for the president, for the government, for ATF?
You ought to say something nice about Alan Combs. At least he stuck up for me.
Howard, that's right. Alan defended you, Howard.
All right, then he's not such a loser. Okay. So we just changed.
This guy, Robert.
All right, so he was a fine guy. No, but the point is, you don't hear anybody talking about the real maniacs out there. Yeah, you're going to blame this guy. I don't know who this guy is. He's bringing up my name, which is absurd. If anything, I think I actually bring people to their senses. I don't hear anybody talking about these maniacs who are against abortion, who go blowing up abortion clinics. They get on the Internet. They give out the names of doctors. Where is the so-called articles about that?
Maybe if there had been an outcry about that, these kids wouldn't have had.
Yeah, I mean, why you don't see the same thing going on? That's just, the people who are causing all this are religious people, so-called religious people. Thank you. Goodbye, Melrose.
Thank you, Howard.
BelleRoseLarry.com.
And the media won't touch them specifically because they are religious people.
That's right. It's unbelievable. Yo.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, dude.
First of all, I want to say I love the show.
Thanks, man.
And the Saturday night show is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I wonder how we did Saturday night. I hope people watched it. We had a good show.
Great new format.
Thanks.
I just want to talk about these.
I want to do more with the Saturday night show if I can get some money to do it.
Hey, never a problem with you, though, huh?
I'm so lucky. Any show I do, they just throw tons of money at it.
They throw it at you, don't they?
I called Mel asking him if we could get more money for the show, and he said, what? I give you, that's a huge budget.
Really?
Yes. And then he had some justification for it. So
No.
I said, okay, forget it.
Sounded good, huh?
Sorry I called.
No.
Okay. I guess we do have a huge budget. I know Saturday Night Live has $1 million a week.
Nice show.
Well, these guys always say, well, if you had more sponsors and more ratings, you would, and I go, well, yeah, but how do you get them?
You always get caught in that catch-22.
I know.
They didn't give you any money to start the show.
I know. But you know, he says they did. He said they did. He figured it out.
Oh.
He figured out how they do.
Okay.
And I listen. I go, well, he knows more than me. He's a billionaire.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, these killings in Littleton, man. I just think it's about time someone started blaming the parents. I mean, all it's bad so far.
Nah, you can't blame the parents.
No, but all this time,
people don't get degrees with these kids.
I'm telling you, pretty soon, no one's going to have any more kids. Because if you start...
You know what? when you got a troubled kid or a problem kid, nobody knows what to do.
Yeah. Because they evidently, wasn't one of these kids just let out of an institution or something?
I don't know.
Someone said he was locked up for a couple of days.
Yeah,
no one knows.
He stole something from a car, and he had to get good behavior training or something.
Well, both of them stole from a car.
Yeah. When you have bad kids, there's nothing you can do about
Everybody's just praying for a good kid because they're all they can handle.
Yeah. No problem with good kids.
Yeah.
You get a rotten apple, what do you do?
All the people who are screaming just got the good kids.
I know.
When you got kids walking around saying Zeke Hail and having Aryan signs all over them and crap like that, I mean...
And sometimes, it's just like their way of fitting in.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to sit them down and talk to them.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, every one of these parents, like there was that kid, the parents of the Manzi kid who killed that 12-year-old who was selling candy door to door.
Yeah.
Right. They tried everything they could think of.
Yeah, they tried to lock him up.
That kid.
Yeah, they tried locking him up. They tried getting him help. They
were in court like several days before he committed murder, trying to get him locked up.
Yeah, but there's evidence of that they showed.
When you got a rotten apple, there's nothing you can do.
You can make an effort. It didn't seem like these parents were making an effort.
They were trying not to get killed themselves.
Yeah, they
Half the time they turn on you.
They were probably scared themselves.
When I was in high school, man, I had ideas of killing people. Killing people you didn't like.
Give us your name so we can come over there and arrest you. Get out of here. Oh, man.
That's what I love. Everybody thinks they could have handled the problem.
Yeah.
I was talking to some people the other day, and they were like, you have to talk to your kids. Like kids are talking to parents.
Yeah, my kids don't talk to me, and I got good kids. They won't tell me a thing. My kids never talk to me.
It's like adults never seem to remember what it was like to be a child.
Yeah. As soon as I start lecturing them, they zone out.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it.
They know you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And
you know what? I really don't know what I'm talking about. They're right. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I've even had friends whose kids were the kid that was picked on in school. And you can't do anything about that either. You're in a catch-22.
Yeah, what are you going to do about that?
To do.
What, are you going to go lecture all the kids who are picking on them?
That makes it worse.
That makes it worse. It's nothing to do. Who could solve these problems? Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, Howard, I was watching the news this weekend. I don't know if you knew that one of those kids, turns out that he was Jewish, the neo-Nazi.
The trench coat mafia? Which one? Harris is a Jewish name, you know.
Yeah, well, no, the other kid...
that sounded fun.
Klebold is Jewish?
Yeah, he's Jewish. His grandfather has a center named after him in Ohio.
Is he fully Jewish, or is he like one of these, like...
Yeah, I think he's part Jewish.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on, his parents didn't know, he's becoming a neo-Nazi. Come on, that's a hint right there.
Yeah.
And then he had a shotgun barrel and some explosives on his dresser in his room.
I knew eventually the Jews...
Parents wrong.
I knew eventually the Jews would be blamed.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, take it easy.
It's the Jews, right, Jackie? Always. John, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, come on.
Oh, gee, I was wondering, what's going on with this Littleton, Colorado thing here? Tell me, you're saying that more guns is going to make it safer?
I agree with that, yes. I believe that if there was a conceal a law that you could actually have students and teachers with guns so they can protect themselves from marauders. I'm for that, yes.
Yeah, but still,
at what age should children be carrying?
Yeah, could you imagine a six-year-old with...
12, no, not a 6-year-old.
A 22 little pea shooter and...
No, 6-year-olds should only have, BB guns. I think, 12...
Yeah, get a slingshot.
I think 12 to 13, you could start carrying.
And still, you're going to have another little episode again.
And each family should have a cannon on their front lawn.
Oh, okay. I agree with that. Actually, I'd like an M60 mounted on my car. That'd be nice.
Yeah, in case you get into a traffic accident.
Well, of course, get the hell out of my way, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just still think if some of the teachers even had guns, they could have, fought back.
Strap them on so the kids can see them.
Well, why not an M79 grenade launcher? Let's make it
Why not?
Right?
Yeah, well, you're making a mockery of my opinion, but I'm telling you, dude, that's how I feel. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's still, you're kind of dopey about telling...
Whatever.
Come on, man. Give
I'm dopey? Let me tell you something. I'm not that dopey. I might be dopey, but I'm not that dopey.
We're going after those boys with cell phones.
Yeah, the other kids had cell phones. Great.
Okay.
Dude, I have
How about this then?
Dude, I have a machine gun nest in the back of my Jeep.
Oh, gee, I've got my own little bunker myself.
Well, then there you go. So why should everybody else be denied?
No, the reason everyone should be denied is because I should be one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, you should be the only one with a gun. That's the problem. Why shouldn't I be allowed to carry a gun so I can protect myself from animals? Of course I should be allowed to.
Well, yeah, you could be like Charles.
A knife isn't going to do you any good. Tell your buddy to shut his mouth.
Yeah, he's telling you to shut your mouth.
Big pussy. He's yelling out stuff in the background.
Yeah, he said the same thing.
Yeah, tell him that for you.
That's Howard.
Yeah, tell him to come down here. I'll kick his ass.
Yeah, you just come down here and kick your ass. I'll kick this goddamn ass. I'll bring a gun and shoot him.
Come on down.
I said, come on down.
All right, thank you.
But, you can't do much from
thank you.
Right?
Right, okay. I'm not going to argue about this. Either you have a brain in your head or you don't. I obviously have too many brains. All right, we'll be back right after this. Yes, Tracy.
Yes, this is Howard.
Yes.
Thank you for taking time to talk to me. I just wanted to talk about the Colorado shootings. I have been hearing a lot of things coming out across the radio, and it doesn't seem like anybody's really looking at what really is to blame.
What is to blame?
I don't care what is to blame. I just wish you'd lower your radio. I just wish you'd lower your radio.
I turned it down. Is
Thank
that
you.
better?
Right.
Better? Okay.
What is to blame?
I think that the bottom line is Satan is to blame.
Who?
Satan.
Why would you pin this on Satan? What did he do to you? Satan. Don't you laugh when somebody says Satan, like a grown person believing in Satan?
Well, he can't do anything to me anymore because I've accepted Jesus Christ into my heart.
Oh, so you have a protective amulet. Satan can't get to you because Jesus is with you now.
That's right.
Do you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I haven't.
That's much more exciting. What is it?
Not to be contrary to this woman, but one of the people who was killed was also a Jesus. She was a born-again Christian, so I don't know where this washes.
Fred wants to argue with her.
She's in heaven now.
I told you who is to blame. The anti-abortion movement. You know, if I read one more friggin' article about Marilyn Manson being to blame or the media and the violence in the media, why isn't one of these so-called reporters bringing up the fact that for years now, on the Internet, anti-abortion people have been listing people they want killed, doctors. They've blown up abortion clinics and shot abortionists. And the so-called religious people are the ones behind it. I'll tell you who causes the violence in Denver. Are these role models who are shooting doctors and posting on the Internet violence. Forget Marilyn Manson. He's a piker compared to these people.
Howard. And
you know it and I know it.
Howard. I agree with you.
Why don't they ever bring that up? They'll go, oh, you know who's to blame? Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer's a moron.
Right. They want to...
Rammstein. It's such a simplistic thing. They never talk about these nuts who run around in the name of Jesus killing people. And that's who's to blame. Thank you.
Howard.
Howard nothing. Stop saying my name over and over again. I hate my name. Howard. Why would a mother name their child Howard? You gotta be insane. Howard. That's not even a name for a baby. How do you hold a baby, cradle a baby in your arms, and call him Howard? Such a sophisticated name. I'd say a 50-year-old guy named Howard. And what does Howard mean? Think about it. Howard. I can't even stand it. I should have changed my name.
To Eric.
Eric. No, you know, I told my daughter last night, my oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Now, I hate my name. She goes, oh, I like your name. I go, well, I'm your father. That's why. I said, but most people hate my name. I said, I was going to change my name to Miles August.
Miles
when August? Yeah, that's right. When I was in college.
What are you, a spy?
I was going to be Miles August. My whole life would have changed. Would have been different.
That's like a 007 kind of a...
I even went as far as to use that name on my college radio station for one show.
And why didn't you keep it?
I couldn't remember to say it. I'd be in the middle of the show. I go, hi, this is Miles August with you. And it's and then I come back on and go, Howard Stern.
Fall in the whole Miles August thing.
Try for a week.
Well, my cousin's name was Paul. I always liked that name, Paul. I would like to be Paul.
Miles. That's a stupid name.
Well, it was an attempt to be something I wasn't. Paul was a nice name.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a nice name.
Yeah.
My aunt, my mother's sister, named her son Paul. You know.
So why didn't you take that name?
Well, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I should have. I don't know. But it's Howard. I don't even understand what it is. Where does that come from, Howard? It's horrible. A horrible name. And it made me feel bad. It wasn't bad enough I looked like this. I had to be named it. I look like a Howard. I think if my name had been Paul, I would have been better looking.
Yeah?
Yes.
Just turned into a handsome guy.
Yes. Refer to me as Miles now. Maybe it's not too late.
What's up, Miles? Yo, I heard that on some news report that the kids in Denver were on X when they shot up the school.
I thought it makes you love everybody.
I guess it just lets down your inhibitions. You know?
Everybody I meet wants me to try ecstasy with them.
I was Xing on Friday and had a blast.
What?
He was
Xing on
Xing.
Friday.
I tell you, everybody says to me that I would like this drug.
Where do you X, my dear?
At a club.
Yeah, I went to a couple bars.
The thing to do is to take ecstasy and go to a club. And then stare at other people.
It's going to be awesome at Woodstock.
But I don't know. Drugs and me, I don't know. I would get paranoid.
Yo, Winnebago to Woodstock. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Can I get some tickets, Howard?
All right, I'll give you tickets.
Excellent.
Hold on.
Thanks.
Why not? Kid wants to be there. Why not? What do I care?
Sure, he's going to X there.
I'm going to be there. I'll watch him X. Oh, everybody with this ecstasy. Like it's the greatest thing ever. Makes you feel good, makes you want to... You don't want to have sex, but you want to touch other people. I don't want to touch anybody.
What's wrong with sex?
Yeah, what about a drug that gets you into sex? I'm into sex already. It doesn't make a difference. I just would like to get some. Not ecstasy, sex.
Why are people always offering you drugs?
Everyone wants to do drugs with me. You don't know. There isn't a person on this planet that doesn't want to do drugs with me.
Oh, jeez. I wonder what that means.
I don't know. It means they don't like who I am.
So they want you
They want me out of my mind.
They want to be around you, but they want you to be different.
Right. Yes, David. Yes.
David.
Yes.
How are you, Howard? I just wanted to know, they just found out in the diary of one of those two guys that they found out that one of their plans was to kill 500 people by hijacking a plane and crashing it into New York City and killing everybody. They said their whole plan was to kill more than 500,000 people, so pretty much for them was a failure. I was wondering what you thought about this.
Well, what would I think of that? That's sick. What would I think about that?
I mean, what if they had made it, actually? They crashed the plane in New York City.
Well, I don't know.
They didn't.
They didn't do that, so what would I think about that?
Well, they got pretty close. They killed 15 kids.
Yeah, well, it's a little easier to do that than to hijack a plane.
Well,
Get to New York.
Yeah. All right, thank you. What do I think of somebody hijacking a plane and flying it into New York?
I wonder what he thinks of that.
How would I have an opinion on that? And what is it? What is that? How could somebody ask me what my opinion of that is? That's the stupidest question I ever heard. I got the...
You know how they say there are no stupid questions?
That is.
I finally heard one.
Yeah, they tell that to kids. Meanwhile, kids have all stupid questions. It's unbelievable. There's Gary Garver with Charlton Heston. You know who Charlton Heston is?
Charlton Heston?
He's a famous actor, was in Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Moses.
And played Moses. And he's the head of the NRA, National Rifle Association.
Mr. Heston, how you doing? Can I ask you a couple of questions for CBS?
Sure.
What do you think about what happened in Denver?
Oh, I'm doing that in Denver next week.
What is he doing in Denver? Is he going to shoot people?
I guess he's going to shoot up a school.
I'm doing the same thing.
Are you concerned with the president sleeping around?
Good try.
Can I ask you one more question? When you hear of all these little kids shooting each other with guns, how can you still be in support of the right to bear arms?
Talk to the founding fathers. That's enough.
Do you ever get drunk and pretend you're Moses? Can you please yell out, get out of your hands, you damn dirty ape? Thanks, Mr. Heston.
Dirty ape! Damn dirty ape! He's a tough interview, isn't he? Very, very difficult to communicate with. You know who Edward James Olmos is?
Of course I do.
How do you know that?
I've watched a few TV shows and movies.
What? So you claim you know who Edward James Olmos is?
Yeah.
All right. Here's an interview from Gary Garver. Ran into him the other night.
How you doing, Mr. Olmos? Do you have anything to say to the parents in Denver?
Our prayers and our condolences go to everyone that has been involved in this. All I can say is that I pray that they are strong enough to understand that they must help the rest of us understand how to cope with this, just like they did in the different places where this happened before. May they be strong enough to help us realize that this can never happen again, and we must all band together to make it not happen again.
Who's the biggest ass in Hollywood?
The industry.
The industry?
The industry as a whole.
Have you ever taken Prozac?
No, I haven't. Never taken Prozac.
Ever been in rehab?
Never been in rehab either, man.
Do you have FU money?
No, I wish I did. I really do. That's one of the things I was hoping to have by the time I was 52, but I didn't make it.
What do you think of Howard Stern?
Hey, I love the man. Let me tell you, Robin and Howard have lived their lives to the fullest, and I pray that they continue for years to come.
How often do you masturbate?
Actually, every day. I found out that it keeps the body young and healthy. It's been proven now. Bob Scheer, the editor of the L.A. Times, just informed me that was a very, very good practice, that it makes the body feel that it's still got to reproduce, so it's very good for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Allman.
Wow.
Somebody finally saying something good.
Something positive about masturbation. It has to be good for you because your body wants you to do it. Yeah, I can't stop doing it. All right, let's do the news, Robin. I need to rest. Hey, let me say something about the Colorado shootings real quick.
I'm going to talk about them now.
Can I just read you something about it?
Sure.
The Columbine High School, is that how you say it, Columbine? Okay. The Columbine High School massacre could lead to massive lawsuits against, now listen to this, school officials, cops, the parents of the killers, and their friends, lawyers say. Now, can you already, oh, hold on a second. Already the dollar signs are out. Already. I mean, supposedly people are grieving.
Yes.
Already the dollar signs.
But you know what these lawyers go to these families and say? I know you don't want money, but somebody should pay because they should feel the pain that you feel so that this never happens again.
Can you imagine school officials? Listen, anybody with an ounce
their own parents living in the room with them every day didn't know what these kids were up to.
Who's going to have kids anymore?
I don't know.
So now people want to wipe these people out financially. They want to wipe out the school. The school did nothing wrong.
The school board, the town.
Yeah, everyone. Everyone's to blame, according to lawyers. When does the judge say, this is an absurd lawsuit? Why do I never see judges?
I just told you about, I think it's over $100 million that the people in Kentucky, I think, are suing the entertainment industry. They're suing video game makers.
Suing everybody.
The movie company that made Basketball Diaries and a few others.
I mean, the reason that there's so much litigation is that the judges don't ever throw anything out of court.
You know who's under attack right now?
Yeah.
And it's really sort of sad. You know, that when this whole thing first happened, these SWAT teams got there.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of different guys, and they sort of pulled it all together.
Right.
So there were a lot of guys that didn't go in the building, because you can't just send hundreds of SWAT people in if everyone doesn't know.
Listen,
they didn't know what was going on inside.
And they're just human beings trying to figure out what's going on.
So now everyone's questioning them and saying, well, if you would have gotten in there sooner, that teacher would have lived, and why didn't everybody go in? And the SWAT lady goes, you can't just send SWAT people in.
They could have caused more death and damage.
And nobody, we all know what happened now, but these guys were walking in the building.
I know.
The whole building they thought was booby trapped.
Yeah. I mean, any judge who sits and is the referee for these cases and can actually throw them out of court has to say this is an unusual circumstance in our society where two kids went wacko and started shooting everyone up. There's no protection. There's nothing a principal or a school system can do.
Prevented this.
No one can prevent these tragedies. It's a horrible tragedy, and everybody feels bad. But it's absurd. I mean, and I don't know what's going on.
You are right when you said this morning that everybody's looking for someone to blame.
Yeah.
Like it's somebody's fault.
Right. How can you sue a video game maker? Why not sue? I told you. Sue the anti-abortionists who are blowing up clinics and shooting doctors and putting their names on the Internet. You might as well sue them, too.
When you look at your little baby in the cradle, you don't see serial killer.
Right.
I mean, I'd be more angry at the parents who didn't hear them hammering and everything, but unfortunately, those kids' parents don't have any money.
And I'm sure that those kids' parents do have some money, and quite frankly, whatever they've worked for their entire lives, and now this is going to be stripped away from them? I mean, what are we?
They're going to be ruined.
Yeah, we're a society of leeches. I mean, I'm sorry. The only people that you could really sue are the two people who did it, but they killed themselves, and everyone's angry about it because the lawyers have to see the dollar signs already. The lawyers already are figuring out how much money they can get. The society is sick. And
we feed on each other.
Yeah. It's everyone's alone, and everyone's to blame for everybody else's misery. And it's obscene.
I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
The police will definitely be on the wrong end of a lawsuit.
And the police can never win in any situation. That's why I say to the police, don't listen. When you get the call from certain neighborhoods, don't even go. Don't go. You know what I'm talking about. Sit home.
Look at further down, Howard. The likely target of such a suit, anyone who had frequent contact or should have had frequent contact with the gunman.
With the gunman.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to get it no matter what. So the teachers will get it, the counselors will get it, the parents will get it.
It's unbelievable.
So that's like if the kid was going to a school psychologist, as for instance, and he missed 4 appointments, does that mean she should be sued?
That's right.
You know, they interviewed, I forget what show it was, either 2020 or Dateline. All these shows are on now 24 hours a day.
Right, and we're always talking now.
Yeah, they were interviewing some boys who I guess had written out some notes where they already had a map. And they were going to go, it was an elaborate scheme. They were going to go to a classroom. Did you see this? They were going to go to a classroom and pull out certain students and shoot them at the front of they had it all written out. So the boys, I guess, now were being interviewed. And they were saying, hey, you know what? We were kidding around. Now, so, of course, the authorities were called in because they see these notes and they take it seriously. Now when you take it seriously, the lawyers will sue you because, they weren't going to do anything. So you get sued for that. And then if the boys kill someone, you get sued for that. Right. You can't sue everybody.
And you can't sue under all circumstances.
Right. It's unbelievable. But I don't understand how it's allowed.
There's no circumstance in the world anymore.
I've never seen a system like ours in the United States of America where people are suing over everything. And you're going to sue the cops for what these kids do? The cops are in trouble for some kids blowing up a school. It's unbelievable.
If you walk into a store, any department store, and you trip, and you didn't trip over anything, you just trip, you can sue them.
I know.
Because it happens.
So how does the guy do business? How does the guy do business?
You can't.
And these lawsuits are scary. Some of these juries give awards like, $50 billion. Right. And some guys ruined.
Above and beyond what you even ask for.
Right. It's insanity.
I saw a show where they gave an award to a guy here in New York City. He tripped on the sidewalk.
Right.
Sued the city.
Right.
Huge amount of money. They got videotaped. The guy was playing softball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're saying, well, and then they showed it to the jury, and the jury knew this. They showed it in court.
Right.
And they were saying, yeah, but it still affected him in other ways. And they gave him a huge settlement. Because he tripped on the curb.
Now I'm going to say we need a professional jury system.
We really do.
Oh, my goodness.
Because juries are idiots.
I don't know, Howard, I don't know if I...
But the judges allow it.
Well, there's a certain thing about a free society where people want to contest something. They should be able to get into court for the most part.
Oh, absolutely.
But, then when you see that it's ridiculous, let it go.
Yeah, but the judges don't do that. I don't understand. I'm not saying all judges, but I'm saying a lot of them just don't see the logic in any of it. It's just absurd.
They start, like now, video game makers.
Yeah. That is so far removed. And you know what? Yes, there are violent things in society, things that depict violence, but so what?
But let me ask you a question. If you sell 1 million video games, right, and one person does something, but the other
10 billion
people didn't,
doesn't matter.
How do you prove that?
It doesn't matter to these lawyers. All right, anyway, let's continue. It's mind-blowing when I read that. They're going to sue the police for this.
Police officers, teachers, school officials, court officials, the gunman's parents.
Teachers they're going to sue.
Officials.
All come under intense scrutiny.
Court officials?
I didn't get that either.
I guess because they once broke into a car.
Right. They should have been put away for life.
Well,
because they weren't mind readers.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, so what else is in the news?
Well, this is in the news. It's now the parents that everybody's turned their eye on, and the parents have gone into hiding. Because of the scrutiny they're coming under because of the actions of their children. Even on the news programs yesterday, U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno said investigators are trying to determine what the couples knew about their son's plot. I think that it's important that we identify who is responsible for them having guns, what they knew or should have known, and take appropriate steps.
Wow.
That's what she said on NBC's Meet the Press.
Me so horny.
Jefferson County Sheriff John Stone expressed disbelief last week that the parents did not realize their sons who killed themselves at the end of the rampage were amassing a huge arsenal of death. Cops found explosives, Nazi literature, shotgun barrels, and detailed diaries of plans for the massacre in one of the suspects' homes, some of it in plain sight. Former Education Secretary William Bennett questioned why the teen murderer's bizarre behavior didn't raise red flags.
William Bennett, there he is. There's the guy who knows everything. William Bennett. Why doesn't he just raise all the children?
These kids were immersed in a culture of death that gives them instructions on how to take life and hate life. We have to be a little more intrusive into the things that are destroying our kids. The costs of bad parenting are much worse than they used to be.
I see.
The Klebolds and the Harrises had no response to the mounting criticism, though one of their lawyers said it was inappropriate for authorities to point fingers before the investigation is complete.
Right.
Dozens of the students at the school said that Harris and Klebold were open about their fantasies. Both had been arrested, breaking into a car, and at least one was taking antidepressants. But one of the kids' mother, Susan Klebold, says this was just as much of a surprise to me as to anyone else. There was no way I could have known what would happen. She's Jewish, and she was unaware of her son's obsession with Hitler. We never talked prejudice in our house. Could he have been such a good actor?
Right.
I didn't see the other side, is what she's saying. One of the fathers said, I thought I was raising a good kid. I thought I was done. I was just writing off a check to pay for his dorm room at college. He was supposed to go to the University of Arizona. But everybody's saying now
you're supposed to know.
They should have known.
Yeah, well, everyone's such a genius. All the geniuses I meet all day, they would have known.
Meanwhile, just 15 people attended the funeral of Dylan Klebold on Saturday.
Yeah, not a big place to be.
2 ministers, 11 mourners, and 2 anguished parents wondering where they had gone wrong.
Right.
So one kid buried very quietly.
Wow.
And now, in the aftermath, everybody's wondering what to do. Connecticut Senator Joseph Lieberman is looking for answers about the violence and thinks an emergency summit might provide some. Now, who's going to be at this summit?
That's, now everybody's going to scramble to look like they're doing something.
Baba Booey.
By the way, there's nothing to do.
Baba Booey.
We're going to sit and talk.
There's nothing to do.
He's calling for President Clinton to convene an emergency White House summit on youth violence.
Baba Booey.
All right. Well, there's a good idea.
He says he has the backing of key lawmakers to have Congress create a national commission to study teen violence. The high-level session, prompted by last week's school bloodbath in Littleton, Colorado, would include leaders of the entertainment industry and gun manufacturers.
Oh, perfect, because I've heard interviews with almost every big figure in the entertainment industry, and I got to tell you something. They're brilliant. Look, I told you, if the president really wanted to do something, the first people they'd go after are these anti-abortion nuts who are blowing up abortion clinics and killing doctors and posting on the Internet. That they'll never go after. What a joke.
There's evidence that the 2 high school gunmen were planning even more horror. The sheriff's department says Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold wanted to hijack a plane and crash it into New York City.
Well, they had a lot of ambition, those 2.
Stone tells the Denver Post the information comes from a diary kept by one of the gunmen. He says they planned to kill at least 500 classmates and teachers. Then they wanted to burn the school down and go through the neighborhood, killing as many people as they could. Ultimately, they plotted to hijack an airliner to New York. They are also thinking that other people were involved. They're going to question an 18-year-old girl today. They want to know if she's the one who obtained a gun used in the shooting. They say one of the guns that they had came from a friend who got it somehow and then turned it over to those kids. Al Gore was over in Littleton yesterday for a memorial service. He told the mourners that all Americans must change their lives to honor the slain children. Number 1.
The entire nation is a community of shock, of love, and of grief. May you feel the embrace of the literally hundreds of millions who weep with you.
Here's more of the Vice President.
All of us must change our lives to honor these children.
What? Wow.
Change them to what?
I don't know. They don't tell you. Well, I'll do it, but what am I supposed to do?
I think number 13 is more of Al Gore. Maybe we'll... 12 and 13.
All right, hold on. I would like to find out what you're supposed to do in light of these 2 maniacs.
We must teach them right from wrong. We must protect them from the violence and cruelty in our popular culture. We must teach them why embracing the right values transcends a moment's cheap sensation.
I see.
And more?
If you are a parent, your children need attention. If you are a grandparent, they need your time. If you do not have children, there are kids who need your example and your presence.
All right. Well, maybe he's right.
Everybody get involved. Here are...
I think we got to wait for the heads of the entertainment industry to get involved. I think they're going to have the answers.
Some more...
I think they'll know what to do.
Who are commenting on this and involved in it. Here's Jefferson County District Attorney Dave Thomas. He gave his thoughts on the possible reasons as to why this tragedy happened. Number 4.
I think it's our disconnectedness in our communities, our lack of respect for one another, our lack of community connection. And I think all of us have known that existed. We don't know our neighbors anymore. We have these busy lives. We don't have time for our own families sometimes.
Everybody's so smart.
And Governor Bill Owens of Colorado told Fox News Sunday that there was clear evidence in plain sight in the home of one of the teenagers. Therefore, he thinks the parents might be held accountable for the shootings.
The parents are thought by authorities to reasonably have been expected to know, then the possibility of them being charged in some way is certainly very real.
And he also says that they're investigating whether other students are involved.
Given the amount of material that was brought into that school and given the planning that went into it, there are investigators who believe that there were perhaps student accomplices.
People are calling for more gun controls, but the National Rifle Association isn't backing down. They say that it's the people who don't get proper gun training who cause problems. Here's Wayne LaPierre, who's the vice president of the National Rifle Association. He was on CBS News yesterday.
A citizen that applies for a permit, goes through a safety course, and goes through a training course is not the type of person, and 31 states have proven that's going to be a problem. And I think this whole talk about that law in the mixture of this terrible tragedy is simply off the point.
So they're holding fast to their opinion. Meanwhile, some of the students at Columbine High School wrote a song to honor the dead. Number 9.
Number 9 is the song?
Yeah. Columbine, flowers blue, tenderly I sing to you. Columbine, rose blood red, heartbreak overflows my head.
All right, there you go, little song.
And here's the sound of Amy Grant, who was also at the memorial service.
She wrote a song about it?
She is just singing at the service, Howard.
What is the number on
Number
that?
14.
All right, Amy Grant.
One thing you have so dear is slipping from your hands, and you say, why?
I don't know. If my kid was just shot, I don't know that I'd want to hear anybody singing about anything. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'm nuts.
That seems to be what people do.
Yeah.
Somehow, this is supposed to help.
And I would be the world's worst lawyer, because if everyone came to me, I'd say, well, I don't know who you could sue. Yeah, I'd be like, you can't sue anybody. Two maniacs did this. I'd be the worst. I have too much common sense.
But, you know, in your anger and grief, you might want to lash out at other people. I can certainly understand people looking for somebody to pay, but...
I don't know. I think my kid was killed. I wouldn't be sitting there looking for money. I don't know. I don't know. I'd be too distraught to sit and start thinking about how much cash I could get. Well, what do I know?
I don't think it's about the cash.
I see. They want to blame...
Not for the...
Well, I don't understand the logic of the police department being at fault for this. I don't get it. Listen, we can't police everyone.
Rational.
I know. We can't police everybody. There's a certain thing in a free society that you're allowed... As soon as there's too many police, everyone starts screaming anyway. They're stopping, racial stereotyping. Listen, forget about it. You can't win in today's society. There's too many lawyers. I was talking to someone the other night. They're now going to Brooklyn Law School. I said, oh, my God, more lawyers?
Yes, they're like ants.
I mean, I said, who's going to be able to support all these lawyers? We need lots of lawsuits. Really?
Ants at a picnic.
They're like carpenter ants. Go ahead, Robin.
Meanwhile, the father of one of the 2 teenage gunmen who massacred classmates in Jonesboro, Arkansas last year says he fears his son will be even more dangerous when he gets out of jail in 7 years.
Right.
Now, that he gets out of jail in 7 years is amazing.
It's amazing.
But this was one of those situations where they have different laws for juveniles and adults.
Right.
And so they can't lock you up for life if you commit your crime at an early age. The facility is full of young gangbangers, according to the father, and their influence has begun to rub off on his son.
Right.
He wrote this in this week's edition of Newsweek. I do not want my kid to become like them. Your kid is already like them, I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
Mitchell Johnson, now 14, pleaded guilty to 5 counts of murder and 10 battery counts in March 24th of 1998 for the massacre at Westside Middle School in Jonesboro. He is being held at a juvenile camp. By law, he has to be released when he's 21.
Wow. That's going to be fun.
Johnson says he's noticed the change in his son during his monthly visits to the camp. But he said the boy is also sorry for what he did.
All right. Dad not looking for that kid to get out either.
We're going to have to come back home.
Yeah.
Cares about that.